we have now set up our first ideation, increase in-store conversion rate. And as you can see, I've added an additional one called new offerings to highlight that we can stack as many ideations as we need in this list. If you want to add a new ideation, you simply just press on this plus and you add the same information as we did in that overview in the previous tutorial. So I created one called new offerings, which is a bit more long term, looking at how Top Premium Sounds can develop and extend their current offerings based on new technology and changing customer needs. So if we go into this, you see it looks exactly the same with a highlight with the details, and then we can set up campaigns. So if we return to the ideation overview, we're now going to set up an idea campaign to start collecting ideas on how to approach this area. So let's focus on increase in-store conversion rate. And you will probably see a template campaign similar to the one we saw with my first ideation that was created when you set up your account. I've already updated this campaign to focus on payment solutions. So what you do is you click on it and then you click on this pen and you update the information. So for the campaigns, what we put in is a title, a headline, and a description. So for this one, you give just a bit of context on what type of input you're looking at. So here we're looking at how to increase in-store buying through the payment process. So could we look at new payment methods, different processes, new models for payment, and we also want to emphasize that all ideas are welcome. And then you set the time for this. And an idea campaign can be open for a few hours, a few days, a few weeks, a few months, depending on the context. But it's very important to have a plan on how to communicate and engage the participant throughout the window for the idea campaign. When we press save, this information is updated. Here, the list of ideas will add up when they start coming in. We'll also be able to track ideation activity. We have a direct link to the campaign, and we also have an iframe, which I will get back to. We can see who's the sponsor, and we can directly start adding ideas to it. So if we go back to ideations now, we're working on increase in store conversion rate. If I were to add an additional campaign, say that I also want to focus on value-added services. So what value-added services can we develop in order to increase in-store buying? And since this one could be a bit more long-term, we can leave it open maybe until just before end of Q2, quarter 2. So if we add this one now, it will show up here. So we see that we have no ideas submitted yet. The end date, how many days are left, and then we click on this, we'll have exactly the same view, but because of with a different campaign. And you often find yourself in a situation where you actually want to run several parallel campaigns focused on different problems, opportunities within the same ideation. So this is why we have this functionality. Okay, so now the question is, how do we get people to actually submit ideas into our idea campaigns? We're going to go through this in the next tutorial.